I'm covered by the blood, but I do have to.
I don't know what blood you're talking about. Must be
The
goat
blood
blood.
of Joshua.
I don't know what Joshua has to do with it.
I
didn't
don't
say
know.
Joshua.
And you know what? If
I
you
didn't say Joshua.
if you drawing Joshua's
said-
blood,
I
that's
said-
not right.
Joshua.
Did he sign?
Somebody.
Did he
Why?
sign?
Why?
Did you
E-S.
sign Joshua?
Joshua.
Did he release?
Joshua. Not Joshua.
Oh,
Joshua.
you killed Joshua.
She killed him and called him Joshua. She
Joshua.
changed his slave name.
Joshua.
You know, the typical white
That
privilege
is,
want to rename a
that's
black
his-
man.
No. That's
Ain't
his,
that some shit?
Hebrew.
His name is Kunta Kinte,
No.
not Toby.
That's his Hebrew name.
Welcome to another episode of the Diva Court. We are still not canceled, although episode 6 is still being held hostage by YouTube. I'm your host, Marcia Mignon, and with me is my co-diva who comes with a disclaimer.
Dana's in the house.
Smith.
No.
Government names always.
Troll Queen.
We're not responsible for anything we say.
Or believe in half of the things that I say.
Still believe everything I say. We do not own the rights to any topics we're going to talk about.
Or are we responsible for your feelings?
And why not?
Because you got to build a bridge and get over it.
Amen.
Yeah.
This is for edutainment purposes only.
Only.
So don't forget to look for our episodes every Wednesday. We push one out for you and we try our best to make the next one better than the last.
News alert. News alert. Y'all should just like do it like this. News alert. 6 is coming. It's coming. I promise you. Like really soon.
I guess she's going to call YouTube robots and talk to
Listen,
them about
I'm gonna
6.
have to have to let them know because 6 was hot.
6 was
so
really
hot.
good.
It was good.
But look for us on Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
Google Podcasts,
Google.
and Spotify. Be sure to check us out on YouTube whenever they release our videos because we push them out too on Wednesdays. But just in case you can't watch a video, don't not hear the good news.
Yeah.
Your edutainment is still available on your podcast. So
Subscribe.
tune in
Subscribe.
and
Subscribe.
subscribe.
Yes.
Tell us too, comment on some of these videos. Tell us what
Yes.
you want us to talk about. We'll talk about it for you because this is Diva Court.
Let
We'll
us-
bang a gavel, we'll issue a ruling,
Yes.
and we'll give you some edutainment.
Let us know when Marcia goes too far because it happens a lot.
No, I don't think so. False news, fake news. Now, don't forget our sponsor, Hey Curl. We are still giving out our Hey Curl Diva discount, which is Diva10 is your code. Go to heycurl.shop and put in your Diva10 code and get your 10% off any products you purchase from Hey Curl.
Yes.
The best cities. Do you have a man? I got a man.
I got him, man. I found him in Detroit.
The best cities to get married and stay married in.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd you think would be number 1? Just guessing.
Somewhere in Idaho.
Why did you think Idaho in the first thought process?
I don't know what else to do there.
So you picked a boring state?
Yes, Idaho or you know what? Not Idaho. What's that one place? Is it Iowa? Where are all the Mormons? What are
I
they?
have no idea. A Mormon, if it had more man,
Where
you
the
should be able to
Mormons
get
at?
married.
Where the Mormons at? No.
You did say more man.
More woman.
Oh, it's more
They
woman
gonna get a
than
wo-
more man.
Where the Mormons at? Utah, because there's a whole bunch of marriages going down in Utah. That's all they do is get married.
So you get a man
One
and you
after
keep a
another.
man. Utah came to mind.
Utah.
All right, so people, let me tell y'all something. It's California.
They know how to party.
Yes, California of 100,000 cities, right? California had the most cities. They are number 1 for cities that you can get married and stay married in. Why do you think that is?
Because It's cheaper to keep her.
To all you California lawyers, the rumor is y'all are so expensive. These people are like, nah, we'll just stay married.
And like they get 50% the way you live, because I think they live in not large for the most part in California. I guess that might be a
So it's like, let me stay with you so I don't have to give you my money.
yeah. I'm gonna stay with her.
Wow, cheaper to keep her. California.
Open marriages, probably.
Number
You know, they all,
one on the cities. Let's talk about who's the worst city.
I think it's all
Ohio is the state with the worst cities.
You know
So if you go to Ohio, child support might be in your future, like it was in Future's future in episode 6.
Yeah, they like, oh hell no, I'm done.
So if you want your marriage to last, you might want to pack your bags if you live in a city in Ohio.
Oh hell no. That's what they're like. I'm out. I'm out.
You got to get out of Ohio if you want to keep your marriage.
It's probably very cheap.
To get a divorce?
Yeah,
Probably.
They don't have no money in Ohio.
Probably is cheap.
You know,
Maybe the judge said, come on in here. Y'all want one? I'll give you one.
it's cold.
You don't even need a lawyer.
It's miserable.
It's miserable there. Let's talk about where Atlanta ranked. Atlanta cities ranked 125. Of the top 150 cities, Atlanta was 125. That's not too bad when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of cities.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm more so when I say Atlanta. Are they saying like the metro area, Atlanta, or in the city? Because ain't nobody getting married in the city.
Well, I think they're counting the number of cities, I guess, in the state and coming up with the cities that
okay. So like
the state that has the most cities.
like the metro area.
I
like
think they might be talking about
OTP,
metro.
or just inside the town.
I don't know. I think they were talking about the metro Atlanta
Yeah,
area.
because I was about to say the people inside the city, they ain't getting married.
They're not getting married?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, she works in the city, so she's a
Work
city
in the
expert.
city, yes.
So troll city that way.
Yeah. They ain't trying. They ain't about that life.
Troll city in that direction.
They don't want to,
and talk to her about the non-marrieds not
They
getting
not getting
married.
If he said that he was marrying you, he lying. He lying. He lying. Y'all gonna be engaged for a good 10 years.
A 10-year engagement?
Oh yeah, until
my
she get
goodness,
over
girl,
it.
that's a 10-year marriage. It take you that long to find
Till
out if
she
she's
get
the
over
right
it.
one?
She'll get over it.
10 years?
Talking about this a promise ring.
Come on now. If you're getting a promise ring and you live in Atlanta, you gotta up your game a little bit.
You gotta.
Yeah, move to California. Somebody will marry you and stay married to you.
That's true.
Get out of Atlanta. Find you a man in California. He won't divorce you. You don't want to give you half of his stuff,
don't
according to
wanna give you
Diva.
half.
Diva said he'll keep you because it's
Yeah.
cheaper to keep you.
Yes, you gotta get half. It's probably best to just take your marriage to California.
Y'all
So
got to
that-
move. You know, you got to be there 6 months before you're considered a resident of the state.
That's true. Just
So
wait
pack your
6
bags.
months.
If you live in Atlanta, you got a man to say more than a promise ring. He actually gave you a wedding ring.
let's jack up these statistics, or let's just move and just get half of all that he
Move
has.
and put Atlanta lower down on the list. But best cities is California. So if you want to stay married and want to stay married for a long
Is that
time,
a
or you
city,
want to
though?
get a man,
Is that a city?
California is a state,
It's a
but
state.
it's got the number of cities, a
Best
large
place.
number of
It's
cities, the
like-
best place
Yeah.
to get and stay married, according
Yeah.
to that report. So pack your bags and get your kids and your husband and take them to California.
Hide
If
your
you really want
wives,
to keep
hide
them.
your kids. I don't know why I said that.
Hide you everybody. Hide everybody. You remember
In
that?
California, yeah.
Hide everybody. Hide
Hide
your
them in
wives. Hide
California.
your kids. They raping everybody.
They
up there.
raping them.
That
Raping them.
nut. Oh my God. All right. So pregnant woman sues Arkansas State Police for pit maneuver. All right, Diva listeners, this is psychotic. In Arkansas, we have a law enforcement officer that is pulling over a car for speeding. SUV, whatever she was driving. And the woman is looking for a safe place to pull over. The rule on their license up there is if you're trying to tell the officer that you're not fleeing and you're just trying to find a safe place to pull over, you turn your hazards on. She turns her hazards on, and despite the hazards, the officer exercises the pit maneuver, flips her car over, and she's pregnant. Let's go Saturday Night Live. What's up with that?
What's up with that? Well, she probably should have just complied.
Oh,
Yes.
You mean the George Floyd compliance now?
No, I'm just saying, like, the police pull you over, you gotta get over.
But there's nowhere to pull over.
You gotta hit that side shoulder.
What if she stops in the middle of the highway and he runs in her back, and now it causes damage to other
that's
people?
why she used her blinker.
But she had the hazards on.
Listen, I'm just gonna wait till the full story comes out, okay? Because you gotta comply. When you see that the police want you to pull over, how he don't know that you might be fleeing the scene?
She put the hazards on that said, "I'm trying to find a safe place."
She might be
to
a
pull
smart
over."
criminal, a smooth criminal. She might be smooth.
Look, Michael.
She might
Speaking
be-
of the smooth criminal,
You know,
can we
slowing
stop
down-
for a second, Diva
What?
viewers, and talk about that mask? Smooth criminal. She got on the smooth criminal
Listen,
mask.
I'm just trusting.
Michael had the socks. She got the mask today. Let's find out what's going on with that mask.
I'm trusting the science. I'm trusting the science. Okay. At my job, you know, people come in. If they have their vaccination cards, they can come in and they can come with no mask.
So what you saying? Those are fake vaccination cards?
No, what I'm saying is that just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you can't get COVID. Your symptoms just may be a little bit more subtle. So if you have subtle COVID symptoms and I'm not vaccinated, then I'm more likely to get horrible COVID symptoms, right? So I got to keep my mask on. And because I love and cherish you guys, I'm protecting everybody.
So you want the crew for Diva Court and the co-diva to be safe.
Exactly.
All right? So viewers, that's why we're wearing this Michael Jackson mask
Yes.
today. That's why we got
So
the smooth criminal.
If in 2 weeks from now, if I'm still wearing a mask at work, if I'm like good, like nothing happened, then I'm doing my own science experiment. Then I know
That the mask works.
the mask works.
And it's protecting
And
you
it's
from catching
protecting
COVID.
me from COVID. So
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart.
So
Put
I'm
your
just
hands
looking out.
together for the
Hey, can we drink
co-diva.
to that? Can
Oh, yeah, we got it. We got it. We got to drink to that. The mass drinking is just a bit much.
I almost narfed
Hey,
my drink.
She almost narfed her drink.
We're gonna have to talk about. We'll talk
Oh,
about
yeah,
that
yeah,
later.
yeah. Narf is coming up.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, so if you're pregnant and you live in Arkansas, please pull over right smack in the middle of the highway
Yes.
if you see the police lights,
Yes.
because they're going to exercise a pit maneuver on you.
Yes.
The good news, though, is that lady's baby is safe because she ended up being pregnant and her baby is safe. She had her baby,
That's
and
nice.
thank God nothing is wrong with the
See,
baby.
Arkansas. They
Don't
out
go to
there.
Arkansas
They out there.
and not pull over in the middle of the highway. Don't look for a safe place because your hazard's not going to help you. They will flip your car with a
Cause-
pit maneuver.
According to the state police, you know,
When I tell you to stop, you stop. I don't care where you are.
and the pit maneuver saves lives.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa.
The pit maneuver saves lives.
That's what the
'Cause if
police
you-
chief said.
If you follow
Hey.
the law,
Pit saves lives because we don't pit those who stop in the middle of the highway.
and you will not be flipped.
So if you don't want to be flipped here in Arkansas,
Then sit your ass down to the side. You'll be fine.
pull over where we flip the lights, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Stay safe, people.
Listen, we don't know who she could have had a gun.
Have you had
was scared
enough
for her
of
life.
Florida? You know, sometimes, Florida's that state that's like hooked right onto the end of the United States.
They need to.
Don't you wonder
they need a
sometimes
secession.
if the hurricane would just snip Florida off and make it an island that it
They
needs
need
to
to
be?
secede from the union.
It needed to secede. It just need to cut right off and secede into the ocean.
I respect Florida.
Let me tell you something. Florida bans teaching critical race theory, right? Critical race theory is a theory Dr. Crenshaw created in saying, let's talk about it, people. We're not going to fix systemic racism if we don't have the conversation.
So we need to stop sweeping it under the rug.
Take the rug up.
This is
Get
so dirty.
the vacuum. It's filthy.
It's
Send the rug
nasty.
to the rug cleaner, and let's get out the vacuum and the broom and sweep it out. So she wants children in school to be taught about critical race theory. Critical race theory is, how did racism come about? How did this country get built? Did it get built on the backs of slaves? How does that happen? So that people will be more sensitive towards people of color, especially people of color who experienced or are from family members who actually experienced racism in America. But unfortunately, the people who are opposed says that it's American to teach that this country
American
is racist.
history. To teach
Yes,
American history.
That's correct. Do
Is
not
that-
teach American history. It's anti-American to teach American history. Why would you not want that?
Well, you know, here's the thing. I was just thinking about this. Like, I was talking to my daughter, and when she was telling me, like, this was probably about first grade, kindergarten, they were learning a little bit about Martin Luther King, and she was like, Mommy, I hate white people. And I said, Zion, why would you say such a thing? And she said, because they killed Martin Luther King. And I was like, that is true.
That is true. I hate white people.
That they killed Martin Luther King.
Did you clarify for the child?
I said, you know, it was a bad time. And I talked to her about it.
In kids format.
Yeah, I mean.
Did she get it?
She got it. Because we are followers of the Most High first, I teach her, like, love everyone. But just know that everyone is not for you. So you don't have to trust everyone. And I think I kind of pushed that a little too strong because my 5-year-old recently, when I was at Busch Gardens, we was just standing in line and she was just like, Mommy, we don't trust white people, do we? And I was just like, we're going to have this conversation later, you know, because in so many ways, I understand that when they're taught about how their ancestors were mistreated, it creates a sense of not only, you know, dislike, disdain, anger, and hatred. It also sometimes it creates inferiority issues. Like, again, like, you know, because of what I was taught about slavery and connecting that to my life, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, are white people looking at me like this? Or da-da-da-da-da. It's embedded in my mind when I walk in the room. Am I going to be the only black person? Are they going to think I'm educated because of everything that I have learned in school? And it didn't go probably as far as in depth as critical race theory, but it has planted some seeds that put up barriers and walls about how I'm going to be perceived that may or may not be true.
So did your seeds get planted because of you being taught about racism, or was it planted because you experienced it? Because that's a whole different ballgame.
Well, as a young child, I never experienced racism as a young child. I mean, my first experience were with multiple race people, different cultures and everything. And when I say different culture, white and black, because I was in Louisiana. So it wasn't
I was wondering,
just white and black.
What other cultures were there?
And then when I moved to Detroit, before Detroit became a completely all-black city, when we were close to, like, the Dearborn area, we had white, black, and a few Chaldeans and or Arabs in the schools. So I never experienced racism directly. Going to but through my education of just hearing how bad we were treated and how white people didn't like us, and the civil rights movement and slavery and all of these things, because they only start our history from when we were slaves. They don't start it from, you know, where it originally started from. And then everything else is, you know, life for black people have been bad, white people treat us.
So should critical race theory include our African heritage and how we originated as a people?
Yeah, I think if it's going to include something, it needs to include a bigger spectrum, so that you don't just have, we saved y'all from Africa, threw some clothes on y'all, gave y'all Christianity,
shaved it down and touched it to speak,
gave y'all some Christianity and gave you this democracy because you could be living over there. And then it makes you hate Africa. Like, it's just so much that is boiled into that, where that's my experience as being a black American, because there was so much. Like, I remember the movie Boys in the Hood, when the little boy was like, oh, you're an African booty scratcher, and nobody wanted to be associated with being from Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's just recently where we just realized, like, why are we disconnecting ourselves from the motherland?
So what about Roots? You remember that movie?
Yeah, it's another.
You remember when that movie came out?
I don't remember when it came out because, of course, I'm a lot too younger than the
Oh,
movie.
here we go.
I said the movie.
What, were you still drinking Similac when Roots came out?
So I watched Roots, but again, these are all things that reinforce like slave or civil rights movement, slave, civil rights movement. Nothing positive about our journey. Oh, and by the way, peanut butter. Carver, George Washington Carver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every once in a while, oh, Rosa Parks went to jail, bus boycott, and just little. Every once in a while, you got little bits and pieces.
So that's why I think it's important for us to teach it, because it sounds like we need to learn our own history, not just people.
Because it's so holy. It's just like, you're just taught inferiority in school right now. So in essence, in the worst case scenario, if they didn't teach anything about race, if they just said, hey, people came over here and created America, it was great, and then we grew together as a people, maybe it would stop the racism of the future. But on the other hand, if you don't teach history, history repeats itself.
Right.
So it's a catch-22.
I say we teach it. I'm on the position of teaching it. I say if you know your history, you're likely not to repeat it. Right. I think it will create sensitivity among young people, to understand. And I think the younger generation really don't have as much problem with racism. You understand, like the millennials, especially when they attend school in a multiracial setting, because they're experiencing people of Asian, they're experiencing people of Japanese, like my kids. My kids grew up in a multiracial environment. And not only that, our culture and the origination from, where we are, our people, you understand, that we have so many family members that are from different spectrums, nieces that look Asian, grandfathers that look Indian, you'd be talking about yourself. You know what I mean? You'd be talking about yourself if you had a problem with it. The first time we ever knew race was an issue is
you came to America.
In America. Hello. Because we thought, hey, the classism existed. You either rich or you're poor, but you can do something about classism. You can become rich. You know what I mean? You can write a song, or you can push out a video, and you can become famous, and you can become an actor. And then once you have the money, you're in, because that's how classism works.
I don't think racism would.
Racism is different, though, because how do you change your skin color? You cannot. You literally have to try to convince somebody to accept you for who you are, because it's something you can't change. And that's why I think it's critical, and I love the name she's given it, critical race theory. Because what is the theory of race as it pertains to this country? How did this country get developed? Because if you don't want to teach critical race theory, then how about we just erase the past and give people their stuff back? Give it back.
I honestly don't think that racism is going. I think it's embedded in.
You think it's not going anywhere?
No, because ever because it's America. Racism is America.
Because they profit off of it.
Because they profit off of it. They profit off of division. I believe that if there was not, like, if we were in a country where everybody was just, it didn't matter what race you were, but because not only is it racism, there's colorism. It's just so many layers of, because even in other countries, maybe they don't deal with racism, but now they deal with colorism. Where does colorism come from? White supremacy. So all of these things, it's just, in America,
well, you got racism, and you have color prejudice, and then you have classism. So you got three things that you're dealing with.
I think classism in America,
you can overcome class.
I think you can overcome classism in America. I don't think you're going to be able to overcome colorism and racism.
I think you can get over color prejudice. Racism, not so much.
No, I don't think so, because it's what the media push out.
Right.
When we're just starting now to embrace loving our hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you still have, like, if you watch movies, you have the light-skinned black girl and the dark-skinned black girl going at each other.
Well, you have to remember that these are parts that are designed by people who created the movies, and they controlled the movies too, and they controlled the media, and they controlled what was being pushed out. And that's why you find that we've talked about it on previous episodes where if the suspect is black, you can guarantee the photo is going to be up there in 30 seconds or less when they air that suspect. And when the suspect is white, you got to wait a few days because they got to check to see if it's legal to put up a person's picture. Are they a minor? Let's check this thing first. Do we even know? And we have to make sure we say alleged, and they do all the things to try to protect. So I think the media, as I've said before on numerous occasions, plays a role. And that's why I think you have to overcome the media with teaching critical race theory.
But and then you have like in the Indian culture, they have a caste system, but like the darker Indians are not treated as well as the lighter Indians. It's crazy. Like the darker your complexion is, the more you're not gonna get a job, or you're not gonna,
Yeah, well, that happens in Miami too with the Cubans and the Haitians.
Yeah, and like I was watching this commercial where it's an Asian woman and they're selling like a cleaning product, and so she has this guy. The guy's a black guy, and she's looking at the guy, and he's like, I guess it's supposed to be her husband. She's trying to kiss him, and she's like, oh no. Then she puts him in the washing machine, puts some cleaning detergent in, and when he comes out, he's a white, like Asian man.
No, that's a racist commercial.
So it's like, it's embedded. It's like, I don't think it's going to change. I think that people like to feel that they're superior. It's embedded in them. So they try to figure out what they can do to
hold on to that.
To hold on to it. And I believe that no matter what generation of people they are, they're going to still hold on to it.
Well, I think if you've oppressed the people and you see them coming up, you have to be afraid that they'll retaliate, because you're thinking, if they did to me what the history says we did to them, then I would want revenge. But that's not what people of color are asking for. We're not asking for revenge. We're asking to be treated fairly. And I think
we need to stop asking to be treated fairly. I think we just need to stop even caring about.
Well, you can't, because you live in the system. It's hard to say I want to go to Publix and I don't want to be treated fairly. Throw my groceries on the floor.
No, what I'm saying is,
don't bag my shit. Don't bag mine. Throw mine on the floor. Okay?
No, what I'm saying is, and I think I was talking to one of our producers. It's just like, we need to just have our own little country, and those who want to be a part.
Segregation today, segregation tomorrow,
but he said
segregation forever.
Who
said that?
Oh,
are you on Miss Supremacist platform today? Who is this diva? I'm gonna need this mask to come off.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
You gotta take that mask off, diva. I don't understand.
Those who want to be a part of a loving environment, and people who just want to live and enjoy living. And if you want to live separate and only be with your white people, I don't care about being.
You respect that.
Respect that.
So are you okay with white people saying, "Hey, I don't want any blacks in this neighborhood"?
Yes,
would you be trying to integrate their neighborhood?
No.
Well, what about the other people who say that's discriminatory? You can't.
Why do you want to be around people who don't like you? If you don't like me,
because you're trying to educate them. That's what they're talking about affirmative action at colleges, because they're saying, "Hey, if you sit in a classroom with nothing but people like you, when you go to the workplace, you are not going to know how to interact. Behavior is taught. That's why we don't eat off the floor."
I think public colleges.
Do you know babies eat off the floor?
Are you? That's episode 2. But I think public arenas should not be segregated.
How are you going to cut that off?
If we're in a private, anything that's not government funded.
How would you do that? Because I'm going to get a loan from the bank. Mm-hmm. The bank is FDIC. That's federal. And the federal government's going to say, you can't loan money to them to finance their properties. They're going to jump back and say that's reverse racism, because you cannot say I'll finance white people or people of color or people who will mix with white people, but I won't finance white people because they want an all-white neighborhood.
What I'm saying is that I as a person am not going to try to infiltrate and integrate and try to be with people who I don't even share the same concepts and ideals, and we don't even think the same. I want to be around like-minded people. Like they say, you're only going to grow and be better if you're around people who are like-minded and that are on different levels of that like-minded, so you can grow together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we all have to think the exact same, but our morals and our character has to be of
But you can find mixed neighborhoods.
But those
that
are not
people
the ones that
have morals
But
The white people have the same morals as black people.
That's not what I'm saying. Those are not the ones who don't want it to be integrated.
Okay.
If everybody in the community.
So what you saying? The trailer park don't want you?
Exactly. And I'm not going there.
Don't worry, we don't want to live in the trailer. We don't want to live.
Have you seen the movie Them? Them? Did you see Them?
No.
Okay, so it's called Them. It's similar to Us, from what I heard. It's like Us and Get Out put together.
Made them.
Yeah, and they
Wow.
made Them. So
Get Out of Us.
Them.
Because of them.
Them is about, it's like a horror movie about how a black community was one of the first people to move into this white neighborhood. And then all the atrocities of hate and things that happened to them. Plus it was some like sci-fi horror stuff in there, and they fighting ghosts and white people. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So giving black people all that work? Oh my God. I don't think I want to watch them.
But what I'm saying,
I live them.
you fighting demonic spirits, plus you fighting the whites who don't want you in there. And they just so insistent on living in this house. Like, why do we want to be down so much? Like, I don't understand that. Why do you want to be down so much? That's not equality. That's stupidity. Like, if it's a community.
So you're saying we're too desperate to want to belong and to be mixed into.
We're too desperate.
Wow.
If it's a community that is
welcoming
and welcoming,
then
and
go there
and
stop trying to fight them. So your point is stop trying to fight them to live in their neighborhood. Stop trying to be with them.
There are high-end communities that are multiracial. You can go there. But why do you want to infiltrate these white people?
Their neighborhoods.
Let them have them.
Well, Martin wanted to infiltrate. That's what Martin Luther King did.
Well, Martin was wrong.
He said we got to integrate the schools. That's how we get to go to school with them.
And guess what? That integration got us worse schools. Like, our school system sucks. Like, when you have black people working, and this is, oh my gosh, I sound like I'm a racist, but I'm going to go there. When you have, this is how white supremacy makes you racist. Like, this is crazy. But when we had our own schools, we were pushing out doctors. We were pushing out scientists. We were doing well, high-end things for our children because we were focused on our children. And then when they started to integrate the separate but equal, you know what I'm saying, then, that was working because although we may not have had the newest things or the newest that, we were just focused.
So we were innovative.
Focused, and had to make it happen because
we didn't have anybody to depend on.
Exactly.
So you're saying the negative side, because there's pros and cons about everything,
right,
of integration is the fact that we became less independent as a people.
Yes.
And more reliant upon the systemic racist system
that is against
to
us.
do things for us.
Exactly.
And it was designed to do nothing for you.
You're asking your slave master, hey, master, can I come stay in the house with you?
Next door. I don't want to stay in his house.
And he's like, you know what? I do have this little shack.
And you can stay there.
You can stay there. Instead of building your own house.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the point.
And that's the thing. Like, so now we're so reliant and want to be so down. And now that we're assimilated, now our culture is being stripped. The little culture.
Well, it's dividing. It's dividing us because interracial means now that black husband is not available for that black woman.
Exactly.
Because he's married outside of his race.
And then the black woman is so tore down and disrespected and said we're the ugliest out of all women, and we got bad attitudes and all these things.
Yeah, we're always angry.
Yeah. So the black man don't want us, as well as any other man that don't want us, which is not true, but that's what is portrayed out there. You know.
So what we got to do is change the rhetoric.
Change the way.
So that's why you watch Diva Court, because the rhetoric here is going to change. We're beautiful. We're gorgeous. We raise our children. We're supportive of our spouses.
Yes, we are.
And we live in a city that's 125.
And I just say all that to say, if we stop trying to, like, it's like my daughter. You ain't got to be friends with this girl if she disrespecting you all the time.
Right.
She's not your friend.
Right.
You don't have
to.
But
that you would tell your daughter that no matter the race of the child.
No matter the race of the child. Yeah. No matter the race of the child. So you want to teach her that.
Don't die to be belong. Don't die. Because there's an article one time that's called Dying to Belong. And it was regarding this young lady who had joined a sorority. And she was so desperate to belong, they told her to blindfold herself and drive a car. And she did, because it was part of the hazing, and she ran into a tree and died. And the title of the article I'll never forget was "Dying to Belong," because she wanted to belong to the sorority so badly that she died.
And it's so crazy because black people bleaching their skin.
Yeah,
white
that
people-
bleaching is got
white
people
tanning their skin.
hold on a
It's
second.
Crazy.
Let me tell you something. Stop bleaching the babies. Stop bleaching yourself. It is unhealthy and it is actually dangerous, and you could kill someone. I understand if you have acne and you're using a product that is going to get rid of the dark marks or dots that sometimes are left over from a pimple, the remnants of a pimple. I'm with you on that. But don't get so caught up that you have no acne issue and you're out buying products to lighten the complexion of your skin. Because what are you going to tell your babies when you have them and they're dark like you used to be? That's a problem. Also, if you already have children, your children are looking, and what your message is to your children is that they are not fearfully and wonderfully made. There's something wrong with the complexion of their skin, so now they have to fix it.
You know, that's why.
Stop it.
That's why I took the blue contacts out my eyes, and I'm really thinking about doing something different with my hair color, because it's just like I don't want my girls to look at me and say,
now that's taking a joke too far, Diva.
I know,
you
but
can lighten your hair.
I'm just saying, like, it's just
Lighten your hair. Your girls
Listen,
are not going to think that's anything wrong
I understand
with
that, but
Don't make it red.
I just saying what I'm saying is that if I change the color, I need to change it like pink or blue or something really fun
please don't
or
do that.
cool.
Please don't do
But
that.
what I'm saying is
Stay out the Crayola box.
Listen, I was just saying
I
that
don't want pink
I don't
hair.
want them to look at me and think that I need to be blonde. I took out the blue eyes before they even had a chance to.
Which
even,
is good. Which
you
is
know what I'm
good.
saying?
I can understand not
I
changing
just
the eye
want
color
them to just look at themselves and just
and be happy
love-
with who God made them.
Exactly.
I'm with that.
Exactly.
I'm with that. But while we're not wanting to teach critical race theory, we're still allowing and setting dogs on black people.
That is
How
true.
does that work? Alabama, you're Bama. You're the Bama of the week. You're the Bama of the month.
Of the decade.
You're the Bama of the quarter. And you're the Bama of the year. A black male who was in his grandmother's home doing some repairs for her. The neighbor called the police and said they think there's a burglar next door. Of course, the police don't come and check. Sir, may I see some ID? What is your name? Are you a resident here? Because the neighbors are concerned. Can we ask some questions? All the man would have to say is, yes, this is my grandmother's home, and I'm actually doing some repairs on grandma's house. I'm not the wolf. You remember that?
The
Little
big
Red
bad
Riding.
wolf.
I'm not the big bad wolf, sir. I don't have on grandma's outfit and her bonnet. I am
Right.
actually her nephew. No. What do? They show up and they sick the dog, the canine, on this man. The canine attacks this gentleman, bites him in the groin, and of course he bleeds to death. Now, here's the kicker. Law enforcement does not want to release the body cam
They don't.
because they said it might cause a George Floyd outrage or a Rayshard Brooks outrage. Speaking
what
of
they
Rayshard
probably
Brooks,
said?
it's an anniversary of his killing at the Wendy's here in Atlanta.
You know what they probably said? Get that nigga.
Get him.
Get him. Get him.
So they sick the dog on the man. Why won't you show the video? Show the
I
video.
bet you nigga is that trigger word
Down there.
Get the
You are
nigga.
crazy. You are
I mean, they probably been training the same way since
Okay,
they were.
Wait
my
a
Diva
minute.
audience.
Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
They probably been training them the same way since they was looking for the
Diva,
slaves.
are you saying the canine is racist in Alabama?
The canine racist?
Oh my god.
Listen, when I looked at that article, they said the majority of people who are being attacked are black
blacks.
males. Are black.
Okay,
males.
Alabama, stop sicking the dogs. You know they did it on our civil rights activists.
Yes.
They did it on
Slaves.
on slaves. You got to
And then
stop
I want to
the
wonder
dog.
why black people don't like the police.
Yeah, you got to stop that. You got to
Oh
stop
my
that.
gosh, this. the
what
slave
really
catcher is
upset
the
me, though-
police. That's a slave catcher situation.
Here's how the media screwed this story up. They wanted to talk about the fact that he was previously arrested for bad checks. Why does the bad check arrest have to be
do.
mentioned in the dog biting him in his grandmother's home?
Why didn't say that? Why didn't they say about that one time when he, stole some candy out of his grandmama purse?
Because he never did.
Just be,
So I
just
mean,
be saying anything.
in
Like, it's
order
just
to
unnecessary information.
no, but that's why they give you that information, so you will not be so sympathetic to the fact that an innocent man got eaten by a dog and he was not in the commission of a crime, and there was no need to sick the dog on this man. This is ridiculous. You understand? And you've got to stop. You gotta stop. You know what I mean? It's mama's house. It's my mother's house. It's not my grandmother's house. It's my mother's house. Whether it was his mother's house, his grandmother's house, his aunt's house, his sister's house, it doesn't matter. And whether he wrote a bad check in 1967, it doesn't matter. Don't bring that into the story, media, because what you're doing is you're desensitizing people regarding the fact that law enforcement made a mistake. Release the video. Show us the body
They
cam.
released the dogs. They should release the video.
When you release the dog, you know you should
gotta
release
release-
the video. I'm with my code. I'm a drink to
Yes.
that. Release the video, Alabama. It's still hilarious to see her take a sip with that mask on. Michael Jackson-ette. Hunter Biden story. Did
Yes.
Hunter Biden use the N-word?
Yes, he did.
Why you think Hunter Biden used the
Because
N-word?
it's in his family. That's what they family.
His
do.
family? What?
What?
Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa.
Runs in his family.
What family member do you have evidence of? Because I hear facts, not in evidence. That runs in their family with.
Like racial insensitivity. runs
Okay,
in their
wait.
family.
We're not gonna pivot. We said there's a history of the Biden family
Being racist?
using the N-word.
So if
Let's
we-
stay focused.
If we run the tape back, I did not say, all right, people, there's a history of the Biden family. I never said that.
But you need to clarify now.
I'm
Clarify
clarifying. That's what I
clarify
said.
for the
I said
viewers.
racial insensitivity runs in the Biden family.
Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about racial insensitivity
Ah.
because that's all
that would
across
be being-
America. We wouldn't have enough
that's
time.
right. He's the president of all people.
We don't have time
We
to
don't
talk
never
about
have time to talk about Joe Biden.
racial insensitivity.
listen,
Let's
if y'all
talk
go-
about Hunter Biden.
Listen.
Okay, first of
anytime-
all,
wait, hold on, 2 seconds. Listen, I'm here. I'm at this camera. Y'all can go back to all the episodes. Anytime I bring up Joe Biden's name, this one over here, she put on her jacket. It's called her coat, her white coat, and she turns back into the spin doctor. She don't want to talk about it, but let's continue.
but let's talk about Hunter.
Let's talk about
First of
Hunter.
all, where did they get this information? From the laptop that was secretly found by Giuliani. I'm sorry, the die. Okay? Because the lie and the fly and the die are gone. But let's talk about the die. The die is who found this laptop that nobody can even corroborate that it even belonged to Biden's son. And this communication where Biden's son is allegedly used the N-word in a conversation with his attorney sounds very suspect.
Well, here's my thing. If he didn't say it, he could deny it. And then the second thing is that at the end of the day,
I think it's too cool for school. That thing came from somebody who is entrenched in the black community. I mean, what was said was,
he watched Boys in the Hood.
how much money are you charging me? That's the alleged statement. How much money are you charging me? Was said to the lawyer in the correspondence from that laptop, which is suspect. And then Biden responds and says, because N-word, you better not be charging me Hennessy rates. Come on now. That's funny. That Biden's son is so cool for school that he knows how much Hennessy costs and the relationship between Hennessy and the price of Hennessy in the black community. I think not. I find it suspect.
It wouldn't be the first
Very
time.
suspect.
It wouldn't be the first time that white people.
I don't know nothing
I
about.
can't finish. It wouldn't be the first time that white people took something cool and thought it was their own.
But got it from who? A black person.
Right. So that don't mean he didn't say it.
So I don't think he said it. I think it's suspect. And then the attorney's response, right? These are wealthy people
Right.
that's always had money.
What do you think that just because they wealthy don't mean that they have class?
No. But let's talk about what the response from the attorney was. The attorney's alleged response is, that made me snarf my coffee. Oh, that made me snarf my coffee. Really?
Or it could have been, don't make me snarf my coffee.
Yeah.
You're so funny. That made me snarf my coffee. Bro.
Really?
That's
Come
what
on
he's
now.
probably saying.
Come
I'm
on.
just saying, like, I can see this conversation happen. Like, bro, how much I owe you, man?
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
nigga, you know, don't be charging me them Hennessy prices, bro. That
Yeah,
made me
yeah,
snarf
that
my
would
coffee.
be more believable with the bro in it.
No, what I'm saying is that if they had this is what I believe. I believe that we all have conversations. I'm not offended by this conversation because even though he used the N-word, because he's talking,
Allegedly, ma'am.
he used the N-word.
Allegedly used the N-word. Allegedly used the N-word. Okay? Because guess what? Somebody of color assisted with that writing.
I mean, he probably has black friends.
Do you even know?
He probably like hang out with Obama.
Do you know the price of Hennessy? Do you know any relationship?
No.
Okay, you're black and you're a black female. Do you know the relationship between Hennessy and a joke regarding Hennessy rates?
No.
Okay, then.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't know that. So maybe
I
that's
didn't
why
know
he-
either.
And
I didn't
he
know
said,
either.
I made that joke up myself. He did say that. So this is what I'm saying. I'm not offended by a conversation that he's having with his white friend. Because there's conversations that I'm going to have with my homegirls that ain't meant for everybody to hear. And we may say some crazy stuff, but it's for us to have this conversation. That's why I feel like a lot of people just say crazy stuff
Amongst their friends. Okay.
He did not expect that his emails would have been.
Okay, first of all, the alleged email on the alleged laptop that is still not connected to him yet. So if
Listen.
you get a laptop out there, here's the problem, people. If you get a laptop out there and somebody wants to tell you it's my laptop and you read some things on that laptop and I'm turning around and going, that's not even my laptop. Please don't do
He didn't even say that. He didn't say that it wasn't. Why he hasn't denied the statement?
So, excuse
And
me.
then you have to see that
Are
the
you
other
saying
text message.
that-
The other text
Are
message.
you saying that Hunter committed admission by silence?
I'm saying no. I'm not saying that.
I'm just
I'm saying the text message before that, he says something along the lines of, they spent a whole year trying to bring this down or something like that. And they spent an S load of money. And that's why he said, how much are you going to charge me? Because he needed his attorney.
So couldn't that be the suspect that fraudulently did come up with this laptop? Couldn't that be coming from Giuliani, whose possession the laptop was in?
It could have, would have.
How long did Giuliani let's ask some questions,
He didn't
Diva.
deny.
My Diva court listeners are
didn't deny
very,
it.
very intelligent.
He didn't deny it.
How long did Giuliani have this laptop? Who else had access to this laptop that they found from a laptop repair store belonging to Hunter Biden? Are you serious? Get out of here. Computer repair shop
say-
gave them a copy of the hard drive.
me-
You're a computer repair shop. Aren't you afraid that the Bidens would sue you for giving out a copy of his hard drive? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
especially if you're
I
in
didn't think it that
business.
far. What I'm saying is this. He didn't, if it was something that was anti-Semitic, he would have denied it. Because he ain't want no smoke.
How did we get to that leap?
I don't know. I just
You-
made-
yeah,
I
you just
didn't have
drowned
an
me.
argument. I didn't have an argument, so
You leaped into. I'm like, what is that? Deep waters? I don't even know where we're going with this.
Just be
We were talking about Hunter Biden and the fake emails and the fake laptop
I'm
that's
just
supposed to
saying,
belong to him.
why he
I think it's too cool for school. I don't think he used it. I'm not saying he has not used
is
the
it? What
N-word
does it say
in
right
his
there?
life. I'm not saying he didn't use it. Hunter Biden was. Oh Lord, at Donald Trump Jr. My producers is producing stuff for us that if Hunter Biden didn't say it. So this is coming from who? Vernon Jones.
He's running for governor.
Running for governor. Vernon had several seats. Please, several seats. You had credibility one time in Georgia, but according to him, is if Hunter Biden was
Donald Trump Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. would have been enduring wall-to-wall coverage on every major media outlet on why the first son finds it appropriate so flippantly to use the N-word. First of all,
Allegedly. That's what he
first
should've
of
said.
all, he should have said allegedly.
Yeah.
Second of all, the Trump administration and their family has made it so easy to give fodder to the media regarding the things they say and the things they do and the kofifi. Okay? Let's not fool each other. So when you're talking about this laptop would not have been connected to Trump Jr., then I would agree. You understand? If this laptop belonged to Trump Jr., then I'd say own it.
But I guess the
But
thing
we
is
we
that,
haven't. First of all, I'm an
there's
evidence
a lot
kind of girl.
I know,
Let's break
I
down
know,
the evidence.
But there's a lot of stuff that if you were a liberal and somebody found it out and it wasn't backed up by evidence initially, it will still be all over.
Well, the problem with the Trump administration is they give it to you. Look at my African American out there in the crowd. I mean, that didn't come from a laptop. That came from his mouth. Come on now. You saw that with your own eyes. So my thing is, their evidence or their controversial coverage was not associated with a stolen laptop or alleged laptop connected to them. It was coming from their mouth.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he ain't denied the story. Why he ain't deny it?
I don't think you give fodder to the media. I wouldn't deny it. I wouldn't, because here's what's going to happen next. You deny it.
He's not going to deny it because...
No. If Hunter Biden came out and denied it, what would people do? People would be spending hours trying to find when he said the N-word. They did it with O.J. Simpson's, Mark Furman in the O.J. Simpson case, and went and found how many times he used the N-word.
I just know he's relying on the liberal media to not cover it, and they have not covered it.
Well, why are we talking about it? That means they covered it.
I'm not no liberal media. I'm not.
No, but if Diva Court can cover it, trust me, we got it from somewhere.
Yeah, but it came
The
from
media.
a conservative outlet.
It came from somebody who checks people. But they said they were smart in writing the story. Snoopy.
So there's a lot
It
of...
came from the Peanut Gang
There's
and Snoopy.
there's a lot of times that on the news, everybody says allegedly until the story is either... It's so many things that are not retracted. It's just a lot.
That's because there's too many channels right now. And there's too many media outlets.
Right.
There's tons
I'm
of
just
areas.
saying, we Black Lives Matter, and before we even investigate, we just gonna shut it down. We so Black Lives Matter. We don't even want you to say certain things about certain groups, and you allow somebody like the son of the president allegedly say something, and y'all don't even mention it to even try to see if it's true.
They're afraid of it because it came from the die and the
But
lie.
I'm just saying, what if it is
At least
true?
the fly, they almost tried to kill him,
What
so
if
he
it
sat
is
down
true?
somewhere.
More coverage on this story. We found out that but we do have our reservations.
No. You can't do that. When you're in journalism, you cannot
They
do
do
that.
a whole
when
bunch
you're
of stuff.
when you're in reality show, you can throw up anything you want. When you're in the Inquirer, dump all that stuff. In fact, you don't even care when you're the Inquirer because you make so much money off of that salacious lie that you can pay the person you lied about. I'm gonna sue you. Sure, how much would you like? Because
Listen.
we made $1 billion
Listen,
off of making up stuff off of you.
You know, Trump said that that the coronavirus came from China, right? When Trump said that, the liberal media went crazy. They didn't investigate to see where he got this information. They said, no, it didn't.
No. I don't think that's what they
And
said.
then-
They said, stop calling it the China virus.
why?
Because it's causing people to attack Asians in your country.
So-
That's how you got your Asian bill.
So here's the thing.
You was mad.
Here's the
She
thing.
was mad about getting an Asian bill.
I wasn't mad about the
but
Asian
her
bill.
president.
No. Where does the Spanish flu come from? Where does Ebola? Where does the word Ebola come from? That's all Africa. That's an African place, and they call it Ebola.
But nobody. Here's the thing.
Nobody beat up Africans.
President Obama didn't say the African flu.
They called it Ebola. It's an African place.
But they called it Ebola. But they didn't call it the African flu. He's saying the China flu, and people are saying, "Sir, that's going to cause ignorant people during this 4 years where you have said tiki torches, we see videos, Jews are not going to replace us, young white men marching all over the country."
But that wasn't my point.
Oh, you took me there. You took me there.
I need you to argue on this.
No,
point.
but you took me there.
No, but I need you to come
Because
back
you
and
said
say-
to me, how did we get an Asian bill on several?
That's
Go
not-
back.
that's not what I'm saying.
Hold on for a second.
I don't wanna talk
Hold
about
on.
that.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Talk
She
about
just
that.
told you, Diva Court listeners, to go back and rewind to some previous videos. Okay, and see where Spinderella comes in
Yes, see
and
me
spin
spinning.
stuff.
She's
Well, let's
spinning.
go back to several where
No,
she was
well, I'm
she
gonna
was
lose my
talking
train of
about how
thought.
Biden could not get any police reform because he was busy getting Asian reform.
true.
And I'm
That
saying
is
to
very
her,
true.
he ended up with an Asian bill thanks to Kofifi, who kept calling COVID instead of saying COVID-19, and we think it originated in China, and we're investigating it, the China virus. And when he saw, everybody was clapping and
said
carrying
China
on,
was
he said, ooh,
responsible.
they're
Listen,
responding.
He said
China
that,
virus.
He said that China was responsible, and they were like, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying?
Didn't nobody say that? They
the
said, let's check that market. In fact, they shut that market down.
But it wasn't even from the market. It was from a laboratory. There was a leak. Now, what's your boy name? The doctor, the one that everybody trusts.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci. It's like, oh yeah, it might have been a leak from the lab because everybody, when the leak happened, went to the hospital and they had this major disease. So I say all that to say, the media, there is a point somewhere in here. The media don't do the research.
When you
They
have to
just throw it
say
out there. They
there
just
is a
deny it.
point, it's time to close on that point.
It's
That's
time to go.
episode 8, because
See,
she
every
is
time
trying to find a
Every
point.
time I talk about that Biden,
Please
I'ma
look
come
out for our
prepared.
episodes.
I'm gonna come with a whole notebook next time.
Look here, you got binders of women.
Binders and
Binders
binders.
and
Of, we
binders
got
of
binders and binders of women. You know what? That might have
I'ma need
something
you
to
to
do with
raise
that
your
sex
glass.
trafficking thing.
Oh, Jesus,
That
Father.
Weinstein.
I'm gonna need you
is
to raise your
involved
glass
in.
to
And
episode
you know
8.
Trump and
This
Biden
is
was friends
episode
with them.
8.
I'm just saying.
Please look for us every Wednesday where my co-diva will go left.
I go right,
And-
center, left, middle.
Okay, so, and I'm gonna go end. I'm gonna end episode 8 on that note. And don't forget, every Wednesday to subscribe. You gotta subscribe, people. If you don't subscribe, you don't get the news. Stay in the know, and not the I don't know.
Ohio. I don't.
And don't go to
Oh, hell.
Ohio if you
Oh,
want your
hell
marriage
no.
to last.
Oh, hell no.
But check out Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and catch us on YouTube when they're not
Yes.
trying to suspend us. Write letters to YouTube and tell them I want to see episode 6.
We putting
Put
that
it
up.
back up.
We putting
put
it
it back
back
up.
up.
We're gonna put it up, but we're gonna block her.
Hashtag put it up.
Hashtag put it up. Diva Court, hashtag put it up. Tell us what you want us to talk about, because we will drink to that. We got to drink to that.